I'm Ashley.
And I'm Sadie. We're not actually short again today. We're just going to trade people at this point. It's fine.
But next week you will have all three of us. And next week you guys are going to like the topic we're going to talk about.
Yes, we're finally going to hit some hormones next week, specifically women and testosterone is the plan.
Mm-hmm.
We've been trying to do that one for a hot minute, and our schedules are just ridiculous. But that one is, people ask us about that a lot, so hopefully that'll be a really good one that we'll try and hit, knock on wood. If it's next week and it's a different topic, just y'all should expect that by now. So.
Don't be mad at us. But we're trying, because we would like all three of us to be together, because we all bring something different to the table when it comes to hormones and women on testosterone and natural ways of going about doing it and stuff like that. So hopefully, fingers crossed, all three of us are together next week.
All the things. Yes, that is a plan. That is a plan. But today, we're going to circle back and do part 2 of what you and Duncan did last week, which is kind of like backstage tips, things to expect from your first competition. Just a few things like we've learned along the way through trial and error, stuff like that. Specifically to like show day.
Yes.
So
we're gonna cover what we didn't cover last week. The next thing on our list was regarding the mandatory meeting.
Yes.
So before every show, we have you guys show up an hour before to wherever the venue is, and we have a mandatory meeting. This is a very important thing to go to. It is full of a lot of information, how the divisions are going to be lined up as far as like figures first and then women's physique and then so on and so forth. And then the promoters will go through a lot of the stuff with you. Yeah.
Even if you've been to like a bunch of different shows, it's still important because like they could have like some last minute changes. Something could come up, like, and again, like, even if it's the same promoter, and especially if it's different promoters, you definitely want to hit that meeting because they're, like, you know, Ashley was just saying, they're going to really go through the fine details of the lineup, and you're so just out of it because it's show day and everything else, there's a lot going on, so it's just nice to kind of get those little bit of reminders, and then just kind of start to get settled and get going, and then, you can kind of see it. And it's also nice, too, because you can kind of see, okay, if I do have questions, these are the people I need to go to because, you know, they're up there on the stage during that meeting. So, like, you like expediters, stuff like that, it kind of helps put a face to the people. Hey, if I have a last-minute question or I'm backstage and I'm, like, panicking, oh, hey, I saw this person. I know this person's going to have answers rather than going, like, 5 different people. Be like, hey, who do I need to talk to for this? I always felt like the meeting was really really informative and just nice, just for that like last minute before the show details and information and stuff, and too, you know, even if you know the lineup, like you just said, like sometimes they're like, hey, we had this happen and now this is going to be switched.
Yes, and that it does happen, you know.
Yeah, you don't want to miss your class or be late to something, or sometimes they're like, hey, we're going to have a late start, you know, and that can change like your pump up, your pre-stage stuff, like, you know. Timing is super, super important. And for us, like, figures usually first, so we really need to be on the ball with stuff. You know, some of the, like, the later categories, it's not as detrimental if, like, a half-hour change start, but for figure right away, that half hour matters. Yeah, for sure. For sure.
And you had mentioned pump up. I mean, that's another thing that a couple people have asked on, like, timing of the pump up.
You don't want to do it too early. You don't want to miss it. Like, it's I think it's almost, like, for me, I've done it a couple different ways. Because you definitely, like, you don't want to be backstage just pumping up for, like,
the entire time. Yes.
Yeah, because now you're going to start to spill over. You're going to start to lose your lines. And you just look too pumped and not crispy.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you also want to time your carbs as well. So if you come back stage and you ask an expediter, and I'm going to tell you straight up, if you ask me how much longer until you're on stage, I'm going to tell you I have no fucking idea.
Yep.
Because we're on the judge's time. Take Classic, for example. So I remember we had a really stacked Classic class. They took forever. on stage. They worked them. I'm pretty sure this one class was on stage for a good 10 minutes.
Which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're posing and flexing, 10 minutes is a lot.
It feels like so long.
A lot. Yeah, you start to
Yes.
cramp if... Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you really do.
Start to lose, like, being able to hold, like, your vacuum in, all that stuff. Like, so that, like, super quick sidetrack. If you're not practicing your posing endurance, like, so regional shows, you might be able to get away with it, but you hit some of those bigger shows or, like, the national shows, man, they're gonna... Yeah, like you said, they work you, and you can pose and pose and pose and pose. I know my teammate, I think hers, when she won her pro card, she was up there for 10, 15 minutes, and
they will work you.
Yeah, and that's a long time. Just think about literally flexing your entire body for like 15 minutes straight.
Think about it like being cold. Your body is so tensed for so long. So then the next day, the next day,
I'm
my
sore.
body is sore.
I am super sore the day after your show. Yeah.
Absolutely. Especially your calves, because we gotta wear heels.
Awful.
Guys, women's physique, women's bodybuilding, y'all are lucky. I mean, I'm women's physique too, but I'm also figure, so I get to experience the heel life as well. So, I mean, my calves, I don't want to walk the next day.
No, I always remember, like, my quads. Oh, there's always my quads. Like, I go to sit down, I'm like,
Yeah, it's terrible. So, like Sadie said, practice your conditioning on posing, because you never know if they're going to work you or not. And going back to being on stage for 10 minutes, so the class of guys were on stage for about 10 minutes. The next class could have been like a minute.
Yeah.
You know,
kind of blow through.
Yeah. We don't know how long it's going to take for them to get to your specific class.
Yeah.
You can ask any of our expediters. If you ask us what time or how long you got until you're specifically on stage, I'm going to tell you, I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah.
So at this point, when it comes to pumping up and getting your carbs in, that is on you. You have to pay attention. Mm-hmm. Because before you know it, you're going to be on stage. Yeah. And you're going to be screwed.
Yeah. And like I said, like, for me, I obviously I've only ever done figure. I'll probably only ever stay in figure. In the shows, the regional shows, I do figures first. But even with that, like,
I feel like figures first.
For a good portion of stuff, yeah.
I mean, I can speak on the Midwest. Figure is always first. But as far as, like, nationwide, I feel like figure is pretty well first. But I'm not for sure.
I'm not sure
NPC
either.
Midwest, figure is always first.
Yeah. So it's nice for like me, I think, and I'm one where, like, I don't want to be rushed, because obviously, like, that's going to hike up your stress, all that stuff, which you don't want. I like to be down and ready, like I said, like, I have, like, that mandatory meeting, which is about an hour before, give or take, they start. I like to be down at least, like, 45 minutes to a half hour before the show's set to start. Like I said, I can just get my stuff. I can kind of get my stuff laid out that I want. I get it lined up, and then I just chill with my legs in the air, like, just waiting. And then when I hear them start to say, start to get ready and stuff, that's when you're going to go back to your glue and glaze, stuff like that. I make sure to have mine. And that could also be coach dependent, too, on when they want you to hit your carbs or your pre-stage pump meal, whatever they want to call it, That's very coach dependent. It should be athlete dependent, in my opinion. If your coach is like, hey, all my athletes do this X amount of time out.
Everybody's body is different.
Every prep and every show is different. Like, my last 2 shows ran completely different. So I'll have my pre-pump meal, and then I'll do my glue and glaze. Then I kind of hang out in line, and then for me, pumping up, I did it a little bit different this time as well. I wasn't pumping up until I was literally, like, in line getting ready to go up, and I did a lot more, like, posing and squeezing rather than actual, like, band pump. I did a little bit of both, but I like that, because you think about it too, like, for me, when you pose, you don't realize you do actually get a pretty decent pump. So I liked that, and then I was pumping the areas that I felt needed to be pumped, because that's what I was posing.
Arms.
Yeah, because when I'm squeezing, those are most of them I'm trying to hit, and that's what was getting pumped. So I liked that, but again, very, very dependent. But I was doing that in line, down my salt, and on stage I went.
Which I still find to be super weird.
Well, my salt and applesauce and a shot of red wine, and all she wrote.
Yeah, that's super weird. Salt on show day. I've never heard of that.
I actually my last prep I had salt.
I know
The
you
whole
gave
time.
me a little bit. It
Yeah.
was. I mean, it tasted disgusting, but I have
It was
never
rough.
heard
It's
of
not
taking
great.
salt on show day for a figure girl.
Yeah,
But,
well,
I mean,
yeah,
yeah.
no, that's like those things. Everyone's different. Every athlete, every prep, and my next show, I could do completely different. I've have no idea. But anyway,
Well, and I mean, you've also been doing it for a few years. You know,
Yeah.
you're still getting to know that. Whereas I've been doing it
Yes.
for 11 years. I know my body
trying to figure out
100% now.
what my body wants and likes and all that stuff. It's just one big science experiment. But yeah, so
It
try.
really is, though.
I would say like if you're figured, probably 45 minutes, half hour.
I would
at
say
the
as
latest.
soon as the athletes meeting is
Get
done,
your stuff set up
you
backstage.
get your ass
and-
backstage.
Yep.
Like, don't go anywhere else.
Mhm.
When the meeting is done, you're backstage because
Mhm.
as soon as you get back there, we're gonna call you for tanning.
Yeah. The
glue and
glued
glaze.
glaze. Yep.
Like right away, we're getting you lined
And
up.
once you're in glue and glaze, like man, you are locked and loaded.
Yeah.
Like there's no more pee breaks. There's
Yep.
no nothing.
And that's another thing. I know we touched on this at the
Which
the
I
last
didn't realize.
episode.
I didn't realize you didn't know the styrofoam pea cup trick.
No, I
That's-
had no idea.
Prime.
Yeah,
Surprise.
had no idea. I just hovered and
Just
hovered and
pray.
prayed. Just hovered and prayed.
Just like little like spritz tinkles, so it doesn't splash.
Yeah. Yep. Or I just hold it because the figure suit, it's attached to your bottom, so you gotta like.
Yes. Yeah. Oh,
take
dude.
all
Once
that
you're.
off
Oh, see, I
and-
just pull it to the side like a regular suit.
See, I don't know. I never did the pee cup thing, so I didn't want pee all over my suit.
Pea cup. Do the pea cup. It's golden.
Yeah. So yeah, no more pee breaks as soon as you get back there.
Yep.
Especially for figure, women's physique, and women's bodybuilding, because
Yeah.
those three categories are the smaller categories.
And they
So
go
we're calling
quick.
all three of you at the same
Yeah.
time.
Yep. I'd say if you're in a different category that's a little bit later, I would probably hit at least bare minimum one full category ahead. You know,
I would say
if not two, just to be comfortable. Like I said,
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to rush and be stressed out because that's going to present on stage.
And it also depends on the category
But,
too. I mean,
yeah.
me personally as an expediter, I want everybody backstage right when the meeting's over. I
Yeah.
don't want anybody wandering around because the amount of times I've had to go chase
Chase
somebody
people.
out in the crowd
Yes.
is
Yes.
astronomical.
Yes, because people just aren't paying attention, and
We know you
sometimes
guys
your
want
coach
to
isn't
watch
paying
the
attention.
show, but
Yes.
we need you guys backstage.
Yeah, just pay attention is the biggest thing, and give yourself one or two categories bare minimum, or
Yeah.
30 to 40 minutes bare minimum. I would definitely say, and
Mm-hmm.
then pump in line would be the best advice because you'll see people back there that are like pumping and pumping and pumping and pumping,
Men's
and I'm like,
physique and we're
yeah,
only
and
at
I'm
men's
like-
bodybuilding.
I'm like, for what? Yo, chill, man. You got at least an hour before you're up.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, you're just that's going to not present very well on stage if you are over. Because think about when you get a pump, like,
You're gonna be
sometimes
too
you
full.
lose lines. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Stuff like that. So,
Do you pump up your legs?
I do not.
I don't either.
The
Okay.
most pump I get from my leg would just be, like I said, just squeezing from when I'm turning.
Mm.
Or not when I'm posing, not
Yeah.
turning. But, I mean, my coach is definitely hard, like, don't pump your legs too much because they're going to pump on stage while you're posing anyway.
I don't pump my legs at
Yeah,
all.
I'm like, and then you're gonna lose all those lines. And as a woman, like, man, it's hard having lines in your legs, so you don't want to lose them.
I don't understand why bikini and wellness pump their legs.
Well, I don't know. Wellness, I can see just maybe a little bit, but the same. I mean, I would think it would be the same as like
But they're
our
just-
categories. Like, you don't want that.
No, I don't understand it.
I don't know.
I
We don't have our bikini girl here to tell us.
Yeah, I know. Maybe that'll be like if we remember, that'll be our
Yeah.
question at the very beginning. and
Glutes,
see
I
what
could
she
see.
says.
Glutes, I could see a little bit.
I don't think you could get
See,
that
but I don't
much of a
know.
pump doing just bands for your
I don't
legs and
know.
glutes. You're gonna lose your lines.
You would think, yeah.
I've never
don't know.
understood that.
I don't do bikini, and like I said, our bikini girl's not here, so.
Yeah, that's true. I
Don't
mean,
ask us bikini questions.
this morning I did like a little bit of glutes and weighted.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have a pump, so what makes you think that just doing body weight or bands in line,
Yeah.
you're gonna pump up your? You're just.
I
I
guess.
don't know. I'm against it. I'm
It-
against
Yeah,
lower body pumping.
Yeah, I would definitely say for sure for that. I don't know. Sometimes just working out, like I've been able to get a decent glute pump from like the like banded kickbacks or something like that. But it's a lot of like slow and then squeeze and hold. And so like but I think it's like the squeeze and hold because that's what's filling it with
Mm-hmm.
blood. You know, rather than repping out like
Unless
50
they're
plus
wanting
reps.
to be like
Yeah,
more full,
I can see that.
maybe
But it's
that's.
such a fine line to ride. Like man.
I know.
Because you could spill over and then you lose. Yeah. Well,
I see a
that's
lot
why
of
I'm not a
girls doing
coach.
like squats. I'm like,
Yeah, don't.
why?
See, and even that, like, you could get, in my opinion, just from like that squeeze and flex, I feel like you'd be able to fill up a lot better than doing a bunch of
I
squats.
know. I don't know. I'm against it. That's just me.
Yeah. Anyway.
I prefer to see the lines in
Yeah.
any division.
Yeah. Well, yeah, especially our figure and physique, you definitely want that. So.
Yeah, definitely.
Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, well, and another thing that comes with posing too, people have asked about tattoos.
Oh yeah. Wait. Hold on.
And-
Pause. Because my squirrel brain just reverted back just because you're talking about bands. Sorry about it. We are both hyped up on so much coffee right now. It's fantastic. And Duncan's not here to bring us down and ground us. So
Yeah.
it's so awesome. Anyway, bands for the pump up. If you want, bring your own bands. Otherwise, there's a good portion of time there will be bands backstage that you can use.
Yep, we always have bands backstage.
Yeah,
Plenty of them.
So don't feel like if all of a sudden you forget your bands or lose them or something like that. Definitely not the end of the world. There
Yeah.
will be bands. And two, if you can't find any, you see someone, just ask them, hey, I'm up next. Can I borrow your bands for like 30 seconds? Most people are gonna make, oh yeah, that's fine. Like
Yeah.
it's not gonna be a huge
It's not detrimental.
issue. No. So they will have that stuff backstage. I just wanted to.
And if you do bring your own band, don't forget to take it with you.
Yeah.
The amount of times people have left their bands,
Yeah, that's probably why there's
is-
such a plethora back there. It's just a collection.
we have a lot.
Yes.
We have a lot. I mean, we don't care. We'll pick them up anyway, but don't forget your bands. You spend money on that stuff. Don't forget them.
But anyway, tattoos. Yes, tattoos. So you and I both have quite a few tattoos.
We do, and more in the works.
Yes, and they're not like your standard just shin or forearm. Like we have tattoos in places that I guess some would kind of affects the look, covers some of the some of the lines and like some of like the density and stuff like that. Like I noticed, so I've got a full sleeve on one arm and a half in the works on the other one. And I definitely noticed, I mean, like my left delt shows way better than my right one because it's not covered in a tattoo. But I also don't think it's at our level anyway. It's definitely not the end of the world, make or break. Like I don't think it's not as taboo or detrimental as it used to be. I don't think. I think you see a lot actually.
Of tatted competitors. Yeah.
Yes, like big full tattoos. Like you and I both have huge back tattoos. And I guess I don't feel like it's ever really affected my placing per se.
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think tattoos really have anything to do with
I don't
placing.
even notice them anymore. And the tan covers it a little bit too, so I mean it doesn't obviously, like you can still clearly see, but
I will say, so we had a couple guys last year. Don't know their names, don't ask me. At one of the
ooh, yes.
at one of the competitions. And I didn't notice this until it got brought to my attention. They were Nazis.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not...
Maybe let's not show those ones.
Yeah. One of them in particular, the other one wasn't as bad, but I mean, he was still a Nazi. But the one...
And like, this is not just like us like saying, oh, they were not, no, like they
really were.
Yeah,
And
unfortunately.
yes. I mean, they were super nice, but that's probably because I'm white.
Yeah.
And
there are a lot of different ethnicities that do compete, and it's just
I'm gonna say
that's
this.
just not cool.
I was kind of I don't want to say this to be racist or anything, but it's a good thing. We only had one black guy backstage, and that's unusual.
Yeah, there's usually a decent amount of like I said, a bunch of different races backstage. To be honest.
Yeah, but we only had one black guy backstage. And I don't think he felt uncomfortable or anything, and we made sure that these guys were not rude towards him or anything, but one of this guy's tattoos on his back was very big. Like, it took up over half of his back and said white privilege. So that's a no-no. I'm gonna have to say that if you have a tattoo like that,
A very offensive one.
yes, and they have swastikas everywhere too. Keep in mind. If you have a tattoo that says that, yes, you are still allowed to compete, but I would highly, 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 highly recommend covering them up with makeup.
Yes.
It was not good, and I don't know if they got docked for it. I cannot confirm, nor will I tell you if they docked him, even if I did know. But they could. I mean, in my personal opinion, I probably would, because that's not okay. When you have this was massive.
Yeah, well, even like you said, like even if there was
Or
only
white pride or something.
Yeah.
White privilege, white pride, something like that. But it was not.
Well, like even like you said, even though like in that show in particular, like the majority of the competitors were white, you still got to remember like the judges, the other workers, and the people in the crowd.
Yeah,
like
we
there's
have Randy,
yeah,
who is black. Rodney, Ketchens,
yeah,
who is black. I think those were the only black
I'm bad at the judge. I don't remember the judges'
that
names.
we had.
But
at that show.
And either way too, like you gotta remember too, like that show is also posting pictures, and those pictures are all over like that. You know what I mean? Like, so it's one of those things. Like obviously,
Well, and even the crowd too. Like the crowd is there's a lot of ethnicities in the crowd.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's children, and
yes,
so
and it's
I would recommend covering them.
Yeah, so if you have something that's very offensive, I would say yes, cover them.
Yeah.
And when you do cover a tattoo with makeup, make sure like your people are tanning know that you are going to be covering with makeup, because that can affect things as well. But I mean, otherwise, like me personally, like I wouldn't say you need to cover them in makeup.
No.
Then the thing I would worry about too in doing that is it kind of gives it a little bit of like a muddied look. So
yes,
I think
it does.
By covering it, you're actually doing more damage because you're making it even less crispy and even less able to tell the details than
and the
just
tan
having
doesn't stick very well.
Yes, than just having your tattoo on there.
Yeah. Coming from a Hooters girl, we had to cover our tattoos.
Yeah.
And if you know me personally and have seen my tattoos or just hop on my Instagram, a lot of my tattoos show. So
yeah.
I had to spend a good half hour to 45 minutes just covering my tattoos before I went into work. All of them.
So as far as tattoos, definitely, unless they're offensive, I wouldn't even worry about it. Wouldn't think anything of it. Another thing too, so belly button piercings, I've heard yes and no on those if they want those in or out. I've always taken mine out, I guess, but
I keep mine in because I have
you take
two.
yours in. Yeah.
I got the upper and lower pierced, and judges don't care as long as it's not like
don't do something
a super long dangly one.
Distracting.
Yes, anything that is distracting. So last week Ashley and I talked about necklaces. No necklaces.
No.
But unless if it's like a shorter necklace with like maybe your husband's ring or something like that, something personal, keep it on. I mean, it's not detrimental or anything. Yeah. You're not going to get docked for it. It's just not preferred, essentially.
Yeah.
But as far as body piercings, I keep my belly button rings in. I have two, one on the top and a stud on the bottom part of my belly button. It doesn't matter. They're not going to dock you for it. It's not distracting as long as it's not a super long dangly, like super shiny one that stands out a lot. Yeah. I would maybe change it. But
I think that's kind of just like the general rule for like extra stuff like that is just be mindful like if it's going to be distracting or not. And then I think that's kind of going to be like your how do I want to say it, like your guide to like if you want to do it or not, because like your goal is to for them to be focused on your physique and your presentation, stuff like that. So when you have, shiny jewelry or very offensive tattoos, that's what they're focused on, and they're not focused on the package that you're bringing. So then, like, it's almost like they don't even remember kind of what you have, type of thing. So you want to be memorable for the right reasons and not for the wrong. And sometimes super shiny jewelry can be distracting. And another thing too, I want to bring up real quick, as far as like what to bring backstage. Kind of touch on that a little bit, because I never really knew. And again, I'm fairly new, so it's kind of changing as I go and evolving. But I would definitely recommend, like, if you want like a yoga mat or something to sit on or lay on, with like a black towel or something. Just be mindful that you don't want your tan to rub off on it. And then, like, you want your pre-stage stuff, as far as like if you do your meal or salts or pump, anything like that, bands, your shoes, and then I'm trying to think else. Like, what else do you bring backstage with you? I'd put myself in a roller bag too, so I'm not trying to carry it and it's not rubbing off on my tan. So I would definitely recommend like roller bags for a lot of stuff.
I literally just bring
yourself.
Yeah, like, I mean, I'm up and I'm off like right away.
Yeah.
So I just bring my jelly beans and my frosted flakes and my sanity, essentially.
Yeah. Well, I said a good thing for this one would be like I did like the yoga mat with like a black towel down.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of nice, because then you're not sitting on the super hard floor and it's not something that's gonna like rub your tan off. And then you can kind of sit with your legs up. You're not standing on them the whole time. But yeah, like you said, like, you don't really need a whole lot backstage, but I'd say whatever you bring. And again, that also depends on how long you're going to be back there too, But yeah, just the bare essentials for sure. Roller bag, highly recommend roller bag for everything. If you're not carrying stuff.
There's been quite a few people who will bring like their entire living room with them. I'm not kidding. They bring a chair, they bring their mirror, they bring their tripod, and
no,
I'm like, see, guys,
especially like the chair, like, again, like, because you're sitting, I wouldn't want to worry about my tan. Like, that's always what I'm thinking about, is my tan. But that's why I wear silky stuff. Like, I have like a silky robe. I think you guys talked a little bit about clothing for your tan last week, right? No. As far as what to wear.
I feel like we did, but now I don't remember. I wear sweatpants.
And you want to make sure that whatever you have too is oversized, because you don't want it to be tight.
See, that's going to be the biggest thing.
Because that's going to leave marks.
Yes. Something loose. I mean,
Very
you can
loose.
wear your robes. I wear sweatpants and a t-shirt. I'm not bougie or anything like Sadie is over there. She's our bougie girl.
Yes.
I'm the scrub.
Yeah, because I like having like a silky robe, and you to be mindful too, like with hair. That's why I like the robe. Or something that can like button in the front, just so that you're not having to like go up and over your hair and makeup. It's easy to just like slip off.
Yeah.
So I like that aspect of it. And then, like, when you're sleeping, too. So, like, what do you sleep in after you get your tan? Because I didn't even know, like, that was going to be, like, a thing. Or do you just raw dog it?
So, I sleep naked for all of you listeners, yeah. In case if you're wondering, I cannot sleep in clothes. I cannot do it. Mm-mm.
See, in general, like, I'm just, like, a t-shirt and underwear type of girl. Glad everyone can be on this journey with us today. But as far as like for my tan stuff, I will sleep in. This last time I actually spent the money, and it wasn't too bad because I got it on Amazon. They were sort of like a little cheaper, but like a silky like night set. And I liked that a lot because I felt like it kept me cool, and it didn't mess with my tan. So I liked that. So I did like a button up. You can do long or short sleeve, like silky top, and then I did like oversized, and then oversized like silky pants, and that's what I slept in.
Oh, it just dawned on me. I just wore Spankies and a tank top last year.
Yeah.
Just shorts and a tank top.
Yeah, so different options. That was just what always was recommended to me, was like definitely oversized and the silky stuff. So also, while we're on the topic of sleeping, if you are staying in a hotel, bring your own black sheets and black towel, or you are going to get charged up the butt when you destroy all of their white stuff.
Yeah, we bring our own sheets. Everything.
Yeah, I bring my own sheets. And what I did too is I just bought a king set, the fitted and the loose sheet. And then whether you're in a king room or not, like they're always going to fit, and I just throw them on over the sheets and call her good. And then definitely bring your own black towels, because you're going to destroy their stuff.
Or I mean, whatever towels, as long as they're yours.
Yeah.
But definitely do
yeah.
not use their towels. Don't use their sheets.
No. Especially like even if you shower that night and the next morning, you're still gonna have tan rub off.
Yep.
It's like for a couple days you're gonna be like just
a
tan
dirty baby
on everything. Yes.
Yep. That's what I call it. Dirty baby.
Yes.
You are a dirty baby.
Yeah. So with that, like the next day, like or that night, if you have like photos planned or anything like that, I would stray away from anything white. Because you're going to.
That's not yours.
Yeah, that's not yours. Or even that, like if you got like a photo shoot the next day, I probably wouldn't wear white clothes because you're gonna get tan on them.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, so make sure you're bringing your own sheets, own towels, stuff like that. That was highly recommended, and that's just, I mean, if you're staying somewhere, if you're staying at your own house, you don't care if you destroy your stuff, that's on you. But I would still I would do black. Even if I was staying at my own house, I would still just have like specific black sheets that I put on.
I do the same thing at our house. Like I'll change our sheets for a good like month.
Yep.
Until I know we have zero tan on us.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, kind of all over the place with that, but
yeah, but it all tied in together though.
Yeah. What else we got on the list?
The only other thing I have is registration.
Ooh, like when to register, or we should do like when to register. 'Cause I think you guys touched on that a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
And then like how check-ins and all that stuff goes the day prior, or night prior, I guess. Because that was new to me too, and I was kind of at a loss a little bit on that as well.
Okay.
So from you being like a worker, I'll probably let you handle that part of it.
Sure.
You know a little bit more than I do. Because I'm just like a lost baby squirrel back there.
This is kind of my area of expertise
yes.
here.
Yeah, kind of more the backstage stuff.
But yeah, Ashley and I touched on it last week. When you register for a show, in my opinion, and just for my sake, I register immediately when I figure out what show I want to do, just because I'm all in then.
Then you're locked in.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because you spend the money on it, you know, you do it. I mean, we've had so many competitors that don't even show up to
which is wild.
The check-ins.
Yeah.
And they spend so much money per division. I mean, it's typically it's $100 per class. So if you're in figure and you do true novice, master's class, and an open class, that's $400 right there, guys. Yeah. That is $400. And if you don't show up and don't compete, you wasted $400.
No refunds.
No.
So with that, though, I will say, so if you are someone that, like me, so I've got kids, and my schedule's pretty set, but can sometimes be a little bit wonky. I personally wait until just a little bit closer, just in case, I mean, heaven forbid, something were to come up, or like one of the kids gets sick, or I get sick or injured or something like that, or I have something with work come up that I literally can't get out of. I kind of keep that in mind too. So I would say almost like there's different ways you can do it. Like one, register right away, then you're locked in, no excuse type of thing. But also two, if you have someone who your schedule can kind of throw some stuff in the mix, obviously might not hurt either to wait a little bit. And that's very dependent on you too.
Yeah, it's all personal preference. Yeah, everybody's schedule is different. You know, you can have a show that's in mind, but all of a sudden your older sister is getting married that exact same day, so you're like, okay, I'm glad I waited to register for this show. You know, I know a wedding they know further out, but something
or like
weird could happen.
Like funerals. I know people, they've had funerals come up and they're like, well, now I'm, obviously depends on, this sounds awful, I mean, it depends on whose funeral it is.
I mean, it is true though.
But it's maybe something, hey, I go to the visitation the night before and still hit my show the next day. But there's just kind of things to keep in mind. I don't know, you can never do it too soon, or I see, but too late, definitely.
And
try and hit before. I try and hit at least before the prices go up.
Yes, and I was just going to touch on that. So you can still register at check-ins. So check-ins is where you literally check in. They give you your badge, your number. They go through the whole process of when the athletes meeting is going to be. You know, we get your height, your weight. If it's a weighted category, like men's bodybuilding, women's bodybuilding, men's classic, those divisions, we do weight as well. So get your height, your weight, badge, number, your little button thing. You get your t-shirt, goodie bag, all that stuff. But you can also register at check-ins. Only downfall is there's a $50
late fee.
Late fee, yes. Yeah. Yep. So you can still, if you don't want to register at all prior to that, there's only a one-time late fee of $50. Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, isn't bad, but
competing's also expensive, so like that's $50 more.
Yes, because like last week when we went through all the expenses, I mean, that's an added $50 on top of the
hundreds you're already spending.
$1,500 for a show, because you got to take hotel stay for a couple nights. You got to take your NPC membership card. You got to take the division classes,
hair,
and
makeup, tan, all that.
And tan is imperative. Hair and makeup, you can get away with doing yourself. I do. Some people, they prefer to get it done because it's easier for them. That's fine. I don't. I know you got your hair.
I do my own hair. But I have short hair. And I know how to style my hair. And like we were talking in the gym earlier this morning, I think even my next show, like I'm probably gonna do some kind of like cool Viking braid, to be honest. So I mean, my hair's gonna be done ahead of time, but I'm obviously still gonna pay for someone to do that to mine, since I don't know how to braid it cool like
you
that.
and I both are gonna do next year.
When I've been trying to do it, because I did like kind of like a tall, like flowy mohawk situation my last show.
Oh, last year, yep.
Yeah,
I liked it. It was cute.
I did too, but that's because it was that length. So like growing out my top is kind of like my goal with growing out the top.
Yep.
And I like it. It's just braided. It's so much easier, and I don't have to mess with it for like.
And it's clean.
Like 5 or 6 weeks. Yeah, I just wash it, put my braid gel, glue, whatever, all type of stuff, and my different oils and sprays and stuff, and yeah, it's pretty simple.
Yeah.
And I like
with
that,
figure, you can get away with that too.
Yes.
I mean, again, like we were talking, I would say fit model, bikini, and wellness. They prefer your hair to be down,
a little bit
straight,
more
curly,
girly, cute.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, you definitely don't have to. That's just kind of the vibe that those divisions give off. Whereas figure, fitness, I forgot about fitness. Fitness, figure, women's physique, women's bodybuilding, you can get away with doing mohawks. You can get away with doing braids.
Different stuff, yeah.
Like I'm not saying bikini and fit model and all them are not badasses, but you can do a more badass look to your hair.
It's a more girly masculine, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rather than just girly.
Mm-hmm.
Be the best way I think I would describe it.
Pageanty.
Yes.
It's kind of how to.
Yes.
And no offense to you ladies, but
but definitely more like
show.
Yeah, more girly compared to like that girly masculine type vibe. Yeah. But yeah. So anyway.
Because I'm gonna do Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
Long braid next year.
So you'll be super long, and I'm gonna do more of like a. Kind of more like a multi-braid, like Viking type style.
Yeah.
So like that's what I'm experimenting with now, is finding different braid styles.
Yeah.
But I also pay some.
Especially when you don't know how long your hair is going to be for next year, you know.
Yeah, and I've got a nice like side and back. It'll essentially at that point probably be an undercut, but anyway, I scroll back.
I mean, we were talking about hair.
I gotta. What popped in my head too. Again, guys, I am so sorry, man. Me and Ashley are like a bunch of little crack squirrels without Duncan. I mean, I hope you're all tracking.
Yeah, Duncan is the one that kind of keeps us in line and doesn't stray too far, but then you get me and Sadie alone together, and we talk about 100 different subjects within a 10-minute time frame.
Yeah. So if you're wondering what it's like to be around us for all of 5 minutes,
welcome! You're now part of the family.
4.5 brain cells combined, plus 2 large coffees.
Yes.
It'll be all right.
And a monster this morning. That's fine.
It's a pre-workout.
Yeah, great. Anyway, what was your question?
Anyway, so I had 2 things that popped up.
So we
when I
went
was
from 1 to
thinking,
2.
yeah, 2. So, oh, my ribs. Sorry. Jesus. Yep, here we go. Well, the first thing, when you mentioned the number button badge, recommendations on, because people always ask what side to put it on.
Their strong side.
Strong side.
So if you're bikini and you're doing your front pose and your right hip is out in front, you want it on the right side. Figure, doesn't matter. It could be either side. Like if you're doing a front pose, like straight on, the figure front pose, any side, doesn't matter. I usually put mine, let's see. I think I put it on the left. Is it the left?
Mine goes on my left because when I
we
do
both
my
had ours the same.
Yeah, because when I do my like routine or individual, I hit my left way more than I do my right, and that's my strong side. So, yeah, strong side. End of the day, whatever is going to be the best for the judges to see your number.
Yeah, as long as the judges see your number, it doesn't matter what side it's on. Yeah. But the side that you mostly pose on, especially when Sadie said that she poses towards the left. It's on the left, or is it on the right?
It's on the left. Because my left side is my stronger presenting side.
Oh, your left hip is forward.
Yeah.
Okay, I was thinking of the other. So I'm opposite, but I still have mine on my left, I guess. Maybe I should check that out.
Now we're contemplating.
Strong side. Keep it on the strong side.
Yes. And don't forget your number. Don't forget your number.
Yeah, because you want to know how much it's going to cost you to get a new one? Do you have any guesses, Sadie?
For a new number.
And a badge as well. So if you misplace
65.
your badge and... button. How much?
65.
Up.
80?
More.
Do you have to like basically re-register? 100?
Pretty much, yeah.
$100. Don't lose
It is $100 to get a new button and badge. So do not lose those. Always have them on you at all times.
And also remember what your number is, so when the judges are calling you guys to shuffle around, you're not like standing there
deer in the headlights.
Like, oh shit, that's my number.
Yeah. Didn't you do that? No, they called the wrong number.
But they were talking to me, and I was like, me? They're looking at me. They're looking at me like I'm dumb, and I'm like, no. That's not my badge.
I remember that because that was during the overall, wasn't it?
Yeah, you could see my face, and I was like,
Who? My mom got that on video.
It's fine. It's another day in my life.
Everything is fine. It's fine.
But yeah, so there's a button, and then the other one is host hotel or venue versus different hotel venue, friend's house, Airbnb, basically off site. I've done both. You guys usually stay at the host venue, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So pros and cons. For me, so the first show we did was the Des Moines one, and I was there Thursday through Sunday, and I ended up I just stayed at the host hotel. It was super easy, very convenient.
Yeah, because that's at the Embassy Suites.
Yeah.
So that's a really good one because it has a microwave, a full kitchen.
Full kitchen.
Well, kind of.
For the most part.
Full-ish.
Yeah, in your rooms. And so in Iowa, I would say we're very lucky because for the most part, pretty much every hotel that I've ever stayed at in Iowa, you have at the bare minimum a fridge, and like 90% of the time you also have a microwave in your room. What I've experienced out of state, though, that's not always the case.
Because the Omaha didn't have it, but they had it on every floor.
Yes. So definitely that's something to check and kind of know ahead of time. Like, are you going to also need to bring something to prepare your food? Otherwise, you're going to be waiting in a freaking line for the one microwave in the entire hotel that everyone else also needs, or just choked on cold food. So...
And it also depends on your food too. Like
yeah,
I just
and what
had
you're
dry
doing.
carbs.
Yeah, so that's not bad.
So
I had fish and rice, so that for me, I don't like cold fish. Like I can't. I've tried and I just can't. I can't. It's
slimy.
It's a texture thing. Ugh. Yeah, I can't do it.
When that fat starts to solidify.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
No, I can't.
No.
No.
But the Omaha show, I reversed in, so I actually had burger and fries, so I didn't have to worry about it. That was fine.
I had a burger.
Sorry about it. That could change. I could be also starving this next one. I don't know. I don't know.
You should do my flipping peak week. God, you would love your life. My coach hates me. My coach is my husband, by the way.
Well, I'll say on that one. But what I did with the Omaha one though is I actually stayed at an Airbnb that was like 5 minutes away. But that was also because I was there Wednesday through Sunday, and it was a substantially cheaper route for me to do that. And my friend and husband just basically chauffeured me back and forth. So that's fine. It was super chill. I had literally an entire apartment to myself, which was nice. It was a very chill vibe. I was able to do all my stuff, no issues, and just chill and relax. And it was nice having like a legitimate full kitchen for stuff. So that just kind of stuff to think about as far as like what's going to be, I guess, cost efficient for you, if that's what you're kind of trying to lean more towards, as well as do you also though have the means to get to and from the venue and not be late and not have to worry about, not stress about traffic, stuff like that. So I would say, just based on, look at your costs. If cost is something you're worried about, maybe an Airbnb might be cheaper. Mm-hmm. How long are you staying there? Are you only staying there? It's a local show. Maybe you're only staying there overnight. Then okay, it's $150, $200 for the hotel, which is not all. Sorry, my computer's about to blow up here.
And how far away you are, like,
yes.
plan ahead.
Yes.
I prefer to stay at the host hotel because it's convenient. Mm-hmm. I mean, cost does suck versus an Airbnb, but
I am so sorry, guys.
I definitely prefer the convenience because then I can just hobble up out of bed, hobble on downstairs to where I need to be, get my tan, check in, hobble back upstairs. That's just my personal preference.
Yeah. Well, and again, it comes down to preference. Mm-hmm. And if you're going with a big team, splitting an Airbnb, that might not be bad either.
Yeah. Because then you guys can all ride along together. Yeah,
all things to think about. I don't think there's a right way or a wrong way. It just kind of depends on what your priorities are going to... Ashley's over there dying.
My shoulder is not okay.
I feel that.
Oh my gosh. We're old guys.
RP over 30.
Yeah.
But yeah, so just basically like what your priorities and stuff are going to be. I think is going to be your determining factor for that. Mm-hmm. And if you are staying outside of the host venue, just make sure you're taking into account traffic and parking and all that stuff. So whatever time you think you need to be there, show up at least a half hour before that.
Yeah.
Minimum. Like, if you're trying to be an hour early, be an hour and a half early.
Yeah.
I would say. For sure. But...
yeah, because you don't want to miss out on anything.
Yeah.
Especially the athletes meeting.
Yes.
Go to it. I mean, there are exceptions. If you have hair and makeup over that time, it's fine. Talk to somebody who did end up going to the athletes meeting because it is information that you do need to know.
Or have a coach that's going to go, stuff like that. Just so that you are getting any type of information, like we said, that might be changing. Mm-hmm. That's another thing, too, to consider versus hotel or not. Is what time is your tan, hair, and makeup appointments? I was lucky enough that I was able to time mine nice, where I wasn't hair at or makeup at this time, then I was waiting 2 hours, and then tan, and then another hour, and then the show. I was lucky enough that I was able to plan mine timed out nice.
Yeah.
And then the little bit of time I did have in between stuff, I just found like a little seating area and just chilled. Mm-hmm. So think about that too, because you don't want to have hair and makeup sometimes. I mean, man, it can be 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning when people are starting.
Yeah, that's why I do my own hair and makeup.
Yeah, so...
I'm going to sleep in as long as my ass possibly
can.
Can.
So you don't want to be going back and forth. And to be honest, I mean, if you are that, and that you're not staying at that, have somewhere where you can just chill and sleep. Like, there'll be people sleeping in the hallway all over. Just, again, make sure that you're not going to miss because you're conked out somewhere. Yeah, so set alarms, stuff like that.
Yeah. But because you won't be able to hang out backstage.
No.
In between. We kick your asses out. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Because we leave, and we don't want competitors back there possibly stealing other people's shit. So plan ahead. If you do stay off campus, off hotel, whatever you want to call it, and you are at a seated spot, please have clothes on.
Yeah.
You do not want to sit on cloth chairs.
Yep. Again, your tan rubs off on everything.
Everything, which is why
And
the
then
backstage area looks like an
Crime scene?
episode from Dexter.
It does. Yes, literally. And you don't want to piss off that venue, especially if it's a nice venue. They don't want.
Well, it's not pissing off the venue. It's pissing
Yeah.
off Jack. You do not want to piss that man off.
Yeah. Well, I mean, outside of that, stuff in general, because that
Yeah.
makes it hard on the promoters, because then you're making the host venue upset, which then trickles down to now the promoters getting that crap.
Because they are the ones that have to pay for it.
Yes, exactly.
So be respectful of
Yes.
the venue, the hotel room, the hotel period, or if you're off-site. Be respectful because somebody's going to have to pay for that.
Yeah.
Always have clothes on because, like Sadie said, tan's going to be everywhere.
It's like tan herpes.
Yep. Once it's one place, it is everywhere.
Literally.
So,
Trying to think. People watching. So ours are split shows. So we have morning prejudging and then evening finals. There are some shows that run back to back. I low key wish ours were back to back, but it's not.
we need a break, dude.
Yeah, I know.
Because you know what we do in between. So I'm going to give you a little insight on what we do in between shows. So we're going to take St. Louis, for example.
That's a big show. That one I definitely understand. And like I said, I'm only ever coming from like the competitor side. So I'm like, man, I'm just sitting here all day, hungry, hoping I don't spill over or lose lines or something goes wrong, and I come up to finals looking like a beached whale, and I was crispy as fuck. If we're prejudging, that kind of sucks. But that's just from the competitor side.
Yeah.
So
Expediter side, you said you were like cranky and hungry and stuff.
yeah,
We fucking are too. Guess what? We don't get to eat. And
yeah, because you guys are running the whole
we
time.
start at 6:30 in the morning, and we didn't get done until 12:01 the next
for the
morning.
St. Louis one.
12:01. Yeah, I timed it. So we set up in the morning. So in between prejudging and finals, all those beautiful medals you guys have, and on the back you have the placing that you placed and division.
Oh, yep.
Guess who has to put those on there in between the shows?
So many stickers.
We do. We get to do that. They do not come pre-placked. We get to do that.
Yeah. So a lot of
And
behind the scenes stuff happens. But
we barely had enough time in between shows for prejudging and finals to get them done.
yeah. Yeah.
Barely had enough time, and we forgot to do something, which I'm not going to say what we forgot to do until a little bit later. Yeah. So we're still working while you guys are hanging out, chilling, eating your food, and
Low-key dying.
Yeah. We are dying with you.
Just different deaths. It's fine.
Yeah.
Everyone, it's fine.
I didn't eat my lunch until 5 o'clock that night.
Ugh.
And it was only half of my chicken, and that's all I had time to eat before we had to start
You
calling
get some
everybody.
shakes and just start slamming shakes backstage.
Dude, First Form was there. We had protein bars and beef sticks. Do you know how many of those you can eat before you get tired of them?
Yeah.
Starving or not?
Yeah.
You get the protein farts. You don't want to eat too many of them.
Those are so bad too.
Yeah. You don't want to eat too many of them.
This
It's
is
terrible.
true. This is true.
So we're dying along with you.
Just with more smelling gas.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not kidding. It's terrible.
Oh no.
Yeah. So that's a little Expediter insight. When you guys are taking your naps, we're still working.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's why you want to be on your stuff and know what's going on, so that these guys don't have to scramble even more. But what I was saying with that, so it's usually cash only for your spectator stuff like
Always
that.
cash only. Yep.
For the prejudging and then finals. Me personally, like my people that are coming, like I tell them like, hey, if you want to come to prejudging, you totally can. I'm like, but finals, that's where they're gonna have like more of like your individual routines, and that's where you're gonna find your actual placing, have a little bit more of like the live judging for the overall stuff like that. So in my opinion, finals, you're getting more bang for your buck for the people. But I also take in consideration too, like I feel bad making people sit all day long. Like that's like a long day, like for the people that are just watching. Yeah, and like all my people always have to, like they've always come to both and stuff, which I appreciate. Like I love that. But yeah, it just kind of depends, just give them the option. Like, hey, prejudging, they're gonna kind of have a general idea. But if you want to see us get the awards and stuff like that, that's gonna be your finals.
Mm-hmm.
So if you
I'm
don't want
opposite.
people
If
hanging
I
out
was
the whole
just a
time,
spectator, I would want to watch pre-judging because that's where like the judging actually happens.
Yeah.
At night.
yeah. See, but we've
None of
also
that
got
happens.
like that competitor mindset because anytime I went and watched a show, also that's when I went was during prejudging.
Mm-hmm.
But that's also coming from like the competitor mindset. Like I
Right.
want to know why they're placing who where rather than just calling them out and
Right.
type of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, just something to think about as far as that goes. I'm trying to think of anything else.
I don't have anything else on our list. I don't know.
Kind of
What
crack
else to
squirreled around
really
today.
go through. Just listen to your expediters backstage. That's
Yes.
the biggest thing. Just listen.
Know your lineup. They will have a lineup posted
Uh-huh.
backstage. If you can't find it, ask.
Which
Someone will show you where it's
should be
at.
able to find it because it's right flipping there.
Yep.
And that is the first thing.
Take a picture of it. Take a picture of it.
Uh-huh.
Have that.
Keep an eye on it.
Yep.
Just-
Sometimes stuff moves. You never know. It's just, for the most part, I think they kind of go the way they say it's going to go. But again, always be prepared for unexpected. Also realize, too, things go so much quicker than you think they're going to go. You don't want to be, like, rushed and not there because you didn't realize you were up as soon as you were.
Yeah, like our little incident last year.
Yes.
That
Yes.
was... I told you about that, didn't I?
Yeah.
Okay. At the Des Moines show?
Yeah.
Oh. Don't be that person. If you're in figure, you get your ass down there.
Yes.
Backstage.
Yes.
Right when the competitor meeting is done. Because if
Yes.
I'm calling your number and you're figure and you're nowhere to be found, guess what? You're going to miss your class.
And it's not worth it.
This person
There's-
almost did.
Yeah, it's nothing
She
you
put
can
her
do.
shoes on and walked right on stage. No pump up,
Yeah.
no pump carbs, no nothing.
When do you put your, speaking of shoes, when do you put your shoes on?
Well, for figure, I mean, I have them on
Right
when I
away.
get back there.
Yeah. I do too, the same. And I think a lot of it depends on how comfortable your shoes are too. Like if your shoes are kind of rough to wear, wait until maybe you glue and glaze.
We did talk about this last week. So
Oh, okay.
if you have the slip-ons,
Oh, those are pie.
yeah, you can put those on like literally right before you walk on stage. But if you have the straps, I would say if you're figure, have them on right away.
Yeah.
And
again, you
but-
can lay down with your feet up, so
Yeah,
you're not standing
absolutely.
on them or whatever.
But a good rule of thumb, when we call your class to get glued and glazed,
Have your shoes.
get your shoes on. Because if you have the straps, the tanners want you to have your shoes on before you get glued and glazed.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you're glued, you cannot bend over to put your shoes on.
No.
Otherwise, your suit's going to pop. And by pop,
Yeah.
I mean the glue's going to come off. Your suit's going to come up.
Yeah.
So as soon as we call your class
And
to
one
get
last
glued
thing-
and glazed, get your shoes on.
And one less thing to stress about and rush and try and get done.
Yeah, because
So-
trying to rush to get your heels
Awful.
on.
Awful.
Yeah, just so as soon as we call your class, get your shoes on.
Yeah.
Unless if they're slip-ons.
Trying to think.
Yeah.
Where were we at? What topic were we on before that?
I don't remember.
I don't either. Oh my gosh. Guys, this is... Yeah. Again, this is why we have Duncan. This is why. But
What were we talking about?
I think it was apparently not as important as we thought it was. Shoes.
I know we were talking about listening to your expediters.
Listen, yeah. I don't know.
Order of events posted.
Yep. Couldn't tell you.
Gone like a fart in the wind. I got nothing.
Everyone on the other side of this is like, oh my god, I'm done listening to these two. I'm so sorry. But anyway, I can't think of really any more last minute stuff. I also, real quick, when I'm done, I like to have my replenish, rehydrate drink ready to go. Essentially, when I walk off stage after finals, and I just slam basically a giant Pedialyte before I put anything else in my mouth, like Pedialyte and good. That's also just my coach's protocol, and I've liked it. So I feel good after that because you're
just do salt and water
well, that's essentially Pedialyte.
without all the sugars.
Yeah.
That's why I don't do Pedialyte. 'Cause it's just sugar.
Oh, I remember. So being there and stuff. Yeah, makes it super important that you're there. And if you're going to scratch at finals, let them know that you're scratching and not gonna be there, so they aren't looking for you. Because the amount of people that scratch for finals, one is absolutely astounding. Like, you put in all the work, you paid for everything. Okay, cool, you didn't win, but that's, in my opinion, like, just like a slap in the face to everyone else that's also showing up. Like, show up and be there. Like, because that affects the lineup, and you might have actually placed a lot better than you thought you did.
Well, that's
And
what
by
Jack
you,
covers in the media.
yes, and by you not showing up, you're screwing, one, the order of everything, and everyone else. So it's just...
And you could also be blacklisted from NBC because it's
Yes.
poor sportsmanship.
Exactly.
It's not good conduct.
Exactly. And if I get it, if something comes up and you're like, hey, look, I'm not gonna make it. I had my kid's sick, I'm sick, I had a family emergency at work, whatever. If you do legitimately have something come up, go talk to them and say, hey, this is what's going on. And I think that would be in my opinion, I would think that would be a lot more reciprocated better than you just straight up not showing up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we get it. Life happens. Shit happens. But also, if you're not showing up just because you didn't place the way you wanted to, that shitty, don't be that person.
Well, and you never know how exactly you did place.
Exactly. You have no idea.
Just because you're not center stage doesn't mean shit.
Exactly.
It could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as opposed to
center being first and
4, 2, 1, 3, 5.
Yeah. And also, you have no idea if someone's going to come to finals and they look like a bag of dicks.
Yeah.
Because that's also happened before.
Changes.
Yes, and like I said, granted they have a pretty decent idea of how they're going to place people, but again, stuff changes and you have no idea. Because they've even said that, sometimes we might have someone that we know is a clear, yep, they've got this class. They're going to leave you on the end and they might not move you. Because they're trying to move and then other people and trying to get the middle numbers and see what they look like to each other. Because they already know it's a clear, type of thing. Sometimes that happens and sometimes they just don't move people the way you think they're going to move them.
Yep.
So you have no idea.
Just because you're not center stage doesn't mean you're not first. Or you are first. I mean, never plan to be center stage. Do not go into a show thinking that center stage is first place all the time when it comes to prejudging.
Yeah.
And they could rejudge at night. It doesn't happen very often, but the very first show we had this year in Sioux City, we had to rejudge a bodybuilding division.
Yeah.
They were stacked.
Yeah, that's what, you were saying that was a really good show. So that was a good nice opener.
It was. And I mean, they were all shredded to the gills, and by golly, the judges worked them when they rejudged because that too, like what people don't understand, when you go for the overall, that is live judging. So you got to be on your game because you're going against the winners from all the other classes within your division. So obviously, A wasn't standing next to D class. So when they get the overall, like you guys are live judging at that point. So good rule of thumb.
Yep.
You're not done being judged until you are in your bed sleeping.
Yeah.
If the judges can see you,
you're being
judged, even if you're off stage.
Yep. Because there's a lot of times, especially if you have a class they already know, they've got it. I've been backstage and looked over, and I've seen the judges looking over at us standing in line. Like they are watching. You're always, like you said, the judges can see you. They're looking at you. If you can see the judges, they can see you. They're watching you. So don't let your gut hang out.
As Jack would say, keep it tight, keep it right.
Yep.
At all times, doesn't matter where you're at.
And another thing too, with like the placing and stuff. My opinion too, even if you're not winning, you're not placing the way you quote expected to place, wanted to place, whatever. You showing up and you continue to be there, all that's doing is giving you more stage time and more practice. The more practice, the more stage time, the more confident, the better you present, the better you do. So
and just overall sportsmen, like
everyone
don't
worked,
not show up to finals.
Yes,
like
everyone worked really hard. Yep.
Show up. You spent the money on it. You took the time to prep. And if you've ever prepped, or if you're a newbie who's never prepped, prep fucking sucks.
Yes. Why would you go through all that work for nothing?
Yeah.
Make it worth it. Like I said, just the more time you're up there, the easier it's gonna get, the less nerves you're gonna have, and that's just in the end going to just roll over to you being better
Yeah.
each and every time, you know? Why would you show on the stage once when you could show up on the stage twice?
Yeah, exactly.
Just practice makes perfect, so.
Because I don't get nervous when I hit the stage anymore. It's just like another day in the office to me.
Yeah.
Just because I've done it so many times.
Yes. I get a little bit standing in line, but that's just, I think that's just I do that with anything and everything that I do. I get nervous before stuff, and then once I'm in it and doing it, then I'm totally fine.
Mm-hmm.
Especially now that I've done it a couple times, I'm good. So I feel confident. Once I'm up there, like you said, it's just another day. But standing in line...
You kind of black out when you're up on
stage.
You
do. You really do.
I don't really remember shit when I'm on stage.
Yeah, you step off and you're like, oh.
I'm
That's
done?
quick. All right. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. It goes quick.
When you're on stage too, last thing, and then then we'll wrap her up. When you're on stage with your posing, if you're not center and you are on the side, biggest thing that I didn't think about before my first show, and that I'm glad someone mentioned, make sure you're posing towards the judges.
Oh yeah,
like angle and pose. Not obviously don't stand there like at a freaking 90-degree angle, but if you're on the edge, make sure you're practicing posing at different like parts on the line, essentially, so that if you are out on the edge, when you want to make sure that your center is facing the judges rather than facing straight out to the crowd, because that's going to present different angles as well. So just be conscious you're posing towards the judges regardless of where you're at in the lineup.
The head judge.
Yes.
Find the head judge.
Yes.
And pose to the head judge as if you're center stage.
Yes.
So you always want to face the head judge.
Yeah.
No matter where you're at. If you're on the diagonal, you pose to the head judge. If you're center stage, you obviously pose straight on. If you're on the left side, you pose towards the judge. Find your head judge, pose towards the head judge.
Yes. So make sure that's something that you're practicing too, because it does change your angles just a little bit, and sometimes you can get a slightly better angle or slightly worse angle if you're not.
The angle shouldn't change because your pose should be the exact same, just towards the head judge.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like if you're not facing the head judge.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're presenting, especially if you're way out on the end.
Presenting straight on and not towards the head judge.
Yeah, okay. That's a different angle.
Yep. Find your head judge.
Yep.
Pose to the head judge.
And it feels weird, but it does not look weird.
Well, that's what they want you to do.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you're not aware of doing that, do it.
Yes.
Find your head judge.
Yes.
Pose for the head judge. Yes. Don't pose for anybody else. The head judge is the head judge.
And make sure you're making eye contact with them, but not like creepy, awkward eye contact.
Don't wink at them. It makes them feel uncomfortable.
And also don't stare at them like you're going to murder their soul.
Actually, it's typically the guys who wink.
Is it really?
I have never seen a female wink. It is always the guys. Guys, if there are any men, competitors who are listening, do not wink at the judges.
I don't like when people wink at me in general.
Don't. It's fucking...
It's uncomfortable.
It's weird.
Why are you winking at me? If we don't share a secret, please stop.
Yeah. No flirting with the judges. Even if you're bikini or wellness. There's a difference between flirting and being professional.
Yes, you can have a professional... in my opinion, there's a difference between a sex appeal and sexy.
Yeah.
You want to be professionally sexy, not professionally sex appeal.
Mm-hmm. If that makes sense.
If that makes sense. Hopefully it does. But again, because those are pageantry, it is part of the division.
Yeah.
But again, you're not trying to take them backstage after you step off.
Okay, here's one. So, be a pageant queen and not a porn star.
Perfect. Yes.
No winking, no sexual gestures, none of that. Because
it's uncomfortable for everyone.
Yes. The amount of times judges have said that to me where it makes them feel... Guys, primarily all of them are married.
Yes.
Men or women. They're primarily all married.
And they're not there for that. They're not there for that.
No. Don't. Oh, and another thing, since we're on the whole pornographic area, guys, if you wear little Speedo looking things, check them and make sure your balls aren't hanging out.
Yep. And girls, if you are in a division where you have to do your back pose and you're bent over a little bit, make sure you're arching your back up and you're not just straight up showing your bits.
Yeah. Don't do that.
It's uncomfortable for everyone.
And honestly, I have had a lot of girls come to me and ask, like,
am I good?
Yes.
Am I tucked?
Yes.
Like, please.
Am I tucked in? Like, boobs
Yes.
and lady bits.
Yeah.
Is my tampon string hanging out? Which, miraculously enough, some people
There's
still
a
have their
surprising
period.
amount. Yes.
If
Yep.
you're on your period, just ask me. I'll make it, like, nonchalantly. Like, I'll have you hit a pose, and I'll just check you over. Like,
Yeah.
ask, because I wouldn't want that to happen to me if I was on my period and I was on
Yes.
stage and there's photos with my tampon string hanging out.
Yes.
Just ask me and I will check you over nonchalantly. Guys,
Even if you've got...
ask me to
Yep.
check you. I will check you. I do it anyway. Because
Yeah.
the amount of times we've had a ball slip
Yep.
and it's all over your photos,
Mm-hmm.
you can't get rid of a ball sack out of photos.
Yep.
Just ask us. We will, no matter how uncomfortable it makes us feel to check out other dudes' balls when we're married. All of us are married backstage.
Yeah.
We will check you.
It's a very professional environment for the most part, though, and like
We're not gonna judge you.
Yeah, don't feel embarrassed or bad or anything like that. I would say like no question, for the most part, I would say no question is a bad, dumb, or embarrassing question.
No, we've
just-
all been there.
Just yes, ask it and just out of the way. Otherwise, you're gonna worry about it, and it's just going to affect you in ways that's not worth it.
Yeah.
It's better just to ask and have the answer.
Everyone,
Everyone.
that, and you don't want to do the wrong thing and be embarrassed.
Yes,
And-
everyone is there to help you.
Yeah.
Do the best that you can do and present the best that you can.
Yeah.
Because everyone knows how hard everyone else has worked,
Yeah.
and at the end of the day, that's what matters.
Yeah.
So is that you're presenting your best possible package.
and we
not...
don't want any nip slips or ball slips or
Yeah.
tampon strings. Just-
Yes.
We're all professional back there. Just
All
ask.
thanks.
Ask us all the questions. We would rather
Mhm.
have you ask than not.
Exactly. So
Be annoying. I don't care. It's fine.
yeah, but respectful at the same time.
Please. Yes, please. Yes, please. Other than that, that's all I got.
Yeah, that's kind of it. Like I said, we kind of squirrel brained around. This one is definitely not going to be as smooth as last week's.
You're welcome, guys.
But hopefully you guys got some good information from it. Hopefully it helps answer some of the questions. Obviously, as things get going, we'll do a lot more with prep because there are a lot of people that have questions.
Yeah, if you have questions, just DM us.
Yeah, and something
our
even if we just
Instagram
slide
or
it in
whatever.
an episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, we'll have a lot as far as like different diets, different training, different peak week stuff, skin prep stuff. I mean, prep series is kind of endless. And I think a lot of people have questions about it that don't know, and it's fine, especially the people that are just curious about it and they don't know anyone that competes. So it's such a foreign thing, and it's kind of interesting. So
Well, and there's a lot that it entails and
that people don't realize. Yes.
Well, I
yes.
mean, just like I said, we were all new at one point in time.
Yeah.
There was a lot of shit that I didn't know when I first competed.
Yes, and that would have been really nice to know. Like a lot of stuff, I like my coach. Don't get me wrong, my coach helped me a ton. You and I weren't friends when I first started, but I was with Duncan, and that was a nice resource as well. But honestly, like I learned a lot on my own from like watching different YouTube vlogs of people that compete, stuff like that. That was really helpful. So if I can also do the same for someone else just starting, that'd be nice.
Oh, absolutely.
So.
Yeah, because like I said, there's a lot. It's a lot of
Yes.
information.
Yes, and you'll forget a ton of it, and it's just a
That's
whole
what
situation.
we like to call carb-tarded.
Yes. Write your stuff out. That was my last piece of advice. Your peak week, show day, stuff like that. Write everything down. Write it out because you are going to forget. You're not going to be able to focus. You're not going to understand what they're saying. Even they've said it 5,000 times.
Yeah, I never. Well, no.
So,
Yeah, I do write my stuff down. Peak week, I do because it
it's
changes
just
drastically.
Yes, and it just makes it easier.
Day
Just
by
have
day.
that skeleton outline
Yeah.
of what to do and what
That
to
is a good point.
expect. So, with that, the two crack squirrels are gonna dip.
Yeah. Stay tuned for next week.
Next week will be a really good one.
A lot of people are asking about it, and
Yes.
I'm really excited for it because I've been researching on my end and whatnot. So I think you guys are gonna love next week's episode regarding hormones and women on testosterone and other natural remedies to
It'll be
go about doing that.
Yeah, it'll be a really nice intro into some of those topics. Obviously, we'll do way more deep dives on a lot of that stuff, and obviously come back to it as time goes on.
Yeah, because there's so much information.
It's a lot, and we don't want to like garden hose you guys. So,
and if you guys have questions within this time frame, within this next week, message us, DM us,
All the
and
things.
We'll talk about it.
Yes, but otherwise, I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day for whatever you're doing. Weekends, nights, morning, all of that fun stuff. Tune in.
I hope you have a shitty time.
You have the day you deserve.
Yes.
No, we love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning along. Hopefully, we're getting better and better as we go on. You guys have any questions, comments, suggestions, all that stuff? Obviously, like Ashley said, DM us, message us.
Mm-hmm.
We're super approachable for the most part.
Wow.
As long as we have coffee first.
Yeah.
But
Don't talk to me until I've had my coffee or monster.
yeah. Yep. But yeah, tune in, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and we will see you guys for the next one. Thanks.
Bye.